Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In this week's episode, countywide recovery and cleanup efforts continue. We'll have details on a boat trip that's for the birds. And there are some important safety reminders for November when we turn the clocks back. Later on in the program, Joanne Magley previews Mobility Week with Courtney Reynolds and Steve Olson from the Florida Department of Transportation. Those segments and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Recovery operations continue for Hurricane Irma. To date, Volusia County has collected 315,000 cubic yards of storm debris and anticipates completing a countywide first pass by the first week of November. The county continues to operate free temporary residential debris drop-off sites. These sites are open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week through Sunday, November 5th at the following locations. Tomoka Landfill, 1990 Tomoka Farms Road, Port Orange. Old Plymouth Landfill, 1991 West Plymouth Avenue, DeLand. The intersection of Rhode Island Avenue and Veterans Memorial Parkway in Orange City.
Volusia County residents can bring their vegetative debris to the citizen drop-off sites free of charge. We also ask that if you live in a homeowners association or along a private road, you can also clean your community and bring the debris to those citizen drop-off sites as well. When the residents come out to the citizen drop-off sites, they need to provide proof of residency, either a driver's license or a utility bill, and the landscape-type businesses will also have to sign a document stating where the debris came from.
Volusia County has also announced it will collect vegetative storm debris on unincorporated private roads beginning Monday, November 6th. The collection will be done with one pass. All vegetative storm debris should be placed on the right-of-way by November 6th to ensure it is collected. To ease the financial burden on residents, the county is applying for reimbursement from FEMA for removal of hurricane vegetative debris on private roads. This is normally excluded from federal funds. According to FEMA, homeowners on private roads who do not live in a homeowners association or mobile home parks and who place debris for pickup by the county must apply for insurance coverage if they have it. Provide insurance information to the county. Mail the documentation to Volusia County Public Works, 123 West Indiana Avenue, DeLand, 32720. Attention, Hurricane Irma debris on private roads. And reimburse the county if they receive payment from insurance or another source for debris pickup. Individual homeowners have a responsibility to not receive and keep double benefits. For information on the disposal of hazardous waste items, you can visit volusia.org/services and go to Public Works. For more information, you can also call Volusia County's Storm Debris Hotline at 386-507-5166 from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. For more information on Hurricane Irma recovery, you can visit volusia.org/PIN. You know the old saying, spring forward, fall back. It reminds us to turn our clocks ahead in the spring and back in the fall. This year, daylight saving time ends and standard time resumes Sunday, November 5th, so don't forget to set your clock back when you go to bed Saturday night. You'll get an extra hour of sleep. November 1st also is the day when Volusia County's lawn watering schedule changes. People who live at odd-numbered addresses may water Saturdays, and people at even-numbered addresses may water Sundays, while businesses may irrigate Tuesdays. Each zone of an irrigation system may be watered for no more than 1 hour and 3/4 of an inch per day. Watering is not permitted between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. The restrictions apply to all county residents, including those living in city limits. They also apply to all water sources, including private wells and pumps.
Look, we've gotten rain since about March this year, and it really never stopped. And that's pretty unusual. Usually we have our regular seasons of dry and wet, but it's pretty much been a wet year. And yeah, the ground is very saturated. even though we have a plentiful aquifer, it's always good to conserve because we have a sole source aquifer. It's a pressure-free source that we have here in the county, and we want to conserve it at all times, whether it's wet or it's dry.
When the clocks fall back, it's also a good time to make sure you change the batteries in all of your smoke alarms and have fire escape plans with 2 ways out of your home. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 2/3 of home fire deaths occur in homes without a working smoke alarm.
So we like to remind everyone to check out their smoke detectors, put new batteries in the smoke detector. Most of them are 9-volt these days. And if you have a carbon monoxide detector, check it, make sure it's working properly. It might be the plug-in type, or it might be one with a battery backup. Just make sure all those systems are in order. We're your fire department and we work for you, and we want you to reach out to us with your needs or requests, and we'll be right there to help you with that.
To learn more about water conservation and fire prevention, you can go online to Volusia County's website, volusia.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
The Daytona Beach International Airport welcomed a special guest for the first time recently. Kate Sark's here to tell us more.
This Boeing 747 SP, which stands for Special Performance, is hard to miss parked on the tarmac of Daytona Beach International Airport. It's a short-body version of a 747 designed for longer flights. It was originally acquired by Pan American World Airways in 1977 and was one of the largest aircrafts of the time. It's named the Clipper Lindbergh in honor of the famous aviator Charles Lindbergh. But today, she's known as SOFIA, which stands for Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy. SOFIA is the largest airborne observatory in the world, equipped with a 34,000-pound telescope in the back of the aircraft that captures mid and far infrared wavelengths. From its operating altitude between 35,000 and 45,000 feet, SOFIA avoids over 99% of the obscuring water vapor, allowing it to make observations that are impossible for even the largest and highest ground-based telescopes. So what does that mean, and why should we care? SOFIA was brought to Volusia County for a mission to study the atmosphere of Neptune's moon Triton as it casts a faint shadow on Earth's surface. This mission was the first ever scientific mission to be flown over the Atlantic Ocean. Because of the location of the event, Daytona Beach was the temporary home base for the aircraft, which resides in Palmdale, California.
So on Thursday, it's kind of a rare astronomical event called an occultation, which is where one body passes in front of another. In this case, Triton, biggest moon around Neptune, is going to pass in front of a bright star in the background. And when it does, kind of like an eclipse, it's going to allow the scientists to learn about Triton's atmosphere. They're going to measure the light from the star as it wraps around Triton through Triton's atmosphere. And this is going to occur at almost a particular instant, down to a few seconds, out northeast of Bermuda. So no ground-based telescope is going to see it. You need to have an airplane. I guess you could have a ship, but that would be hard too. We can fly out there, be in the right place at the right time to get this event.
From Florida, SOFIA could reach the shadow center and return during a single 9-hour observing flight. While the results from the mission are proprietary to the researchers, it is confirmed that the team caught the shadow center. SOFIA is a joint project of NASA and the German Aerospace Center DLR. The aircraft flies up to 100 missions a year, but will often perform multiple science lines on each flight. This means that during one flight, multiple studies or observations are performed. SOFIA studies many different kinds of astronomical objects and phenomena, but some of the most interesting are star birth and death, formation of new solar systems, planets, comets, and asteroids in our solar system, and black holes at the center of the galaxies.
A lot of what Sophia's learning is learning about how the universe was formed, and then after stars were formed, how planets were formed, just basic science that teaches us about the world. Some of the stuff closer to home, this event with Triton will teach us about a moon around a planet that's actually here in our solar system. A lot of times we're looking for water because life as we know it is based on water, and any place that has water, we think maybe there's the potential for life.
The observatory selects which missions SOFIA will fly from submitted proposals. For more information, visit nasa.gov/SOFIA and follow SOFIA on Facebook and Twitter at SOFIA Telescope. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Kate Sark.
The Marine Science Center is hosting a pelaging trip Saturday, November 18th, led by birding expert Michael Brothers of the Marine Science Center. Participants will travel to the center of the Gulf Stream about 35 miles offshore. The trip is on the Canaveral Princess, an 85-foot boat with excellent observation areas on the upper deck, bow, and stern.
This is like a highway, a river that's actually in the ocean of this warm water current, and it becomes a magnet for these various oceanic birds to find food, and they're foraging out in these areas. So the opportunity to go out offshore provides visitors who may never have been on the ocean before a chance to see some of these amazing creatures that we have off of Volusia County's coastline. And sometimes it's not just the birds, but we see sea turtles, we see a number of amazing creatures. We've had over 9 species of whales and dolphins that we've seen offshore. So it's an amazing adventure.
Participants should plan to meet at 6:15 a.m. at the dock between Rusty's and Milliken's Reef Restaurants at 670 Glen Cheek Drive, Cape Canaveral. The boat departs at 7 a.m. and will return at 4 p.m. Participants should bring food and beverages, seasickness medication, and sunscreen. Food service will not be available on the boat. The cost is $205 per person. To register, you can contact Brothers at 386-304-5543 or mbrothers@volusia.org. Send a check made payable to Friends of the Marine Science Center to Marine Science Center, 100 Lighthouse Drive, Ponce Inlet, Florida, 32127. For more information about the Marine Science Center, you can also visit marinesciencecenter.com. Volusia County residents who need assistance because of damage caused by Hurricane Irma may apply through the county's Community Assistance Division. Disaster recovery funds are available to help homeowners make the insurance deductible payments or complete home repairs. Applications are available online at volusia.org/community-assistance. Homeowners can also pick up applications at the Community Assistance Office in DeLand or any public library in Volusia County.
The Disaster Recovery Program is funded through our SHIP program, and households are eligible if they own and occupy their house and they have already applied for assistance through FEMA or the SBA. If residents have homeowners insurance, they must have already filed a claim for homeowners insurance. Their household income must be at or below 120% of area median income, and the majority of the funds are available for assistance that are at or below 80% of area median income. However, we encourage people to apply who are in between the threshold of 80 and 120% of area median income.
For more information about the Disaster Recovery Program, you can visit volusia.org/community-assistance. This week on Solutions for Your Life, Dennis Mudge previews the annual Volusia County Farm Tour.
Hello and welcome to Solutions for Your Life. I'm Dennis Mudge, the director at the UF IFAS Extension Office in Volusia County. Well, it's fall, it's time for the Volusia County Fair and of course the farm tour. First one we're thinking about, of course, is the Volusia County Fair and Youth Show this year, November 2nd to the 12th. An excellent event with all kinds of shows and a family event. This fair has always been so special about families being able to come out and being a big part of the fair. Remember, we start on the 2nd through the 12th. It's a 10-day fair with so many important events going on. And we have rabbit shows, and we have goat shows, and we have sheep shows, and exhibits on display that 4-H'ers have done, photography and art and so many things that'll be on display. We of course have very special shows that happen as well when you come in and watch it. The youngsters who have raised their farm animals for a whole year, and then they come in to show them. The market animals are here as well, sheep and beef and swine. A couple of those events that you might really not want to miss, individual shows that happen. We have a poultry show that happens on November 1st, pretty exciting, with the grand opening on the 2nd. You can actually come in for that poultry show if you want. There's also a swine show. The pigs are shown on November 2nd, beef on November 4th, and of course all these shows are in the afternoon or the evening. You can get the schedule online very easily, but this will help you think a little about it. The cattle are going to come in and be shown on November 5th, and sheep on November 6th. So give it a lot of thought about coming out to the Volusia County Fair this year. It's a wonderful event and certainly something you don't want to miss. This November, as always, just before Thanksgiving, you should be thinking about attending one of the most wonderful events in Volusia County, the Farm Tour. Every year we have this wonderful event where the local producers open up their farms for a tour to come around and you to meet them. And this is a self-guided tour where you get in your own vehicle and you drive to each of the farmers and see what they have on display, and they even have some of their items for sale at the end. So you like to go to a farmer's market, but how about going right to the farm itself? Now remember, like always, we have a west side tour and an east side tour. Now you have to make a decision. You got to pick one or the other. The west side tour, of course, on the west side of I-4, going out to the fern farmers, and then the east side over with a lot of the producers, animal producers, and also vegetables that happen. As we think about this, now it's November 17th, that's always the Friday before Thanksgiving. Great time to do the tour, and then remember you also drive yourself, and you can stay a little longer at these if you want, but there's a schedule that's passed out when you get to your first tour. Always starts at 9 o'clock. We have a great time with the actual program at each one of these stops, and you have a chance to ask these producers questions, talk to them, enjoy their products, and move on to the next site. Just a great thing to do in the fall. Get your family together, get your friends together. Come on out for the Volusia County Farm Tour and make this one of your special fall events that really has always been a highlight here for the last 20 years in Volusia County. Don't forget to put these important fall dates on your calendar. November 2nd to the 12th is the Volusia County Fair, and of course November 17th, the Farm Tour. With Solutions for Your Life, I'm Dennis Mudge.
Let's join Community Information Director Joanne Magley in the studio with her guests, Courtney Reynolds and Steve Olson from the Florida Department of Transportation.
Well, Volusia County will be joining the rest of Central Florida to celebrate the second annual Mobility Week, which is October 28th through November 3rd. And during Mobility Week, counties, cities, and transportation agencies host various events to promote safe and sustainable transportation. So joining us in the studio today is Courtney Reynolds and Steve Olson, both with the Florida Department of Transportation. Hi guys, how you doing?
Oh, great.
How you doing? So before we get into the details of Mobility Week, Steve, give us some background as to why this program came about.
Well, a little bit of a story here. We have a representative from our mobility team, an FDOT employee who has family in Spain, and when she visited, you know, they celebrate this thing called Mobility Week there, and very involved. Now, bear in mind that transportation in Europe is a little different than us. It's not so car-centric, you know, a little more biking, a little more train riding, that type of thing. So she said, you know, why don't we try that here? And so we tried it last year. It got some good foothold, and we decided to give give it a shot again this year to, get everyone involved and start, thinking about their choices as far as transportation.
So what do you want people to do during Mobility Week? What's the goal, Courtney?
Well, we really encourage folks to take a look at what their options are, other than driving, or if you're driving, looking at options like carpooling. During Mobility Week, which is October 28th through November 3rd, it includes the weekend in there, so even some weekend trips, if you could check out the Votran bus routes that go in your neighborhood, or take a walking trip with your kids to a park, it's a great chance to look at what other options are out there, other than driving for every trip.
And then part of the Mobility Week, you're doing something called a mix-up challenge. So talk to us about the challenge.
Sure, it's the Mix It Up Challenge, and that's exactly what we want people to do. Mix it up, try something new. At mobilityweekcfl.com, people can actually join the challenge, create a profile, and then during that week, we want people to log the different type of trips that they're taking. So if you walk that 3 miles, you can do it, or if you take a bus for a 2-mile trip to the store, go onto the website, log that trip. You'll earn different points and unlock fun badges with cute artwork to help you, help encourage you to keep up with it. And maybe that trip that you tried during Mobility Week is something that you can work into your regular routine. Biking, walking, transit, or carpooling could be a part of your everyday choices.
And I guess that's probably one of the goals of Mobility Week, to really just get people either introduced and, like you said earlier, take baby steps to find ways to not use the car to get to where you have to go.
Oh, exactly. There are many options out here, and sometimes people just don't realize the options that are available to them, or that bike that's sitting in the garage can actually be used maybe for getting to and from work or running an errand, that type of thing. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess you don't have to be that extreme going to work. Well, I guess depending on where your work is, but it could be as simple as loading the bikes onto the car, taking them with you somewhere, and then when you get to that destination, riding the bike around instead of driving here or there to all those stops. So let's talk about Volusia County. How do we do when it comes to sustainable transportation? You mentioned we have Votran, which is a highly utilized service.
Right, and Votran is a very highly utilized service, and it connects up to our Sunrail line, which has its stop on the northern end in DeBerry, plus the trail system here. I mean, Volusia County is developing that trail system over by Gemini Springs, and then making the connections there, and then also, the sea loop, or river to sea loop, that's being constructed as well. So there's some vital places that they're making those connections there. So, Volusia County is pretty involved. When it comes to the next week, where it's Mobility Week, there's an event in DeLand at a park here in DeLand, where it's going to be bicycle safety, and it's going to concentrate on trails and helmets and just proper ways of riding your bike and things like that. And then later in the week, for Mobility Week, we're going to have some events on the Sunrail train on that Thursday, giveaways to the customers, and just customer appreciation for taking the train and making that choice.
Lots of incentives to get people excited about trying these different modes of transportation. So earlier we mentioned carpooling as one of the options, and I know people are probably, sometimes they're hesitant because I don't want to get stuck at work if I have an emergency. What would I do? But most of the transportation agencies have backup plans that are built into the carpooling system.
Yeah, it's one of the services that Rethink Your Commute provides. So if you carpool, if you van pool in one of the Votran van pools, or ride the bus, bike, or walk to work, and a situation pops up, because sometimes it happens where you get sick, a family member gets sick, or maybe you just have unscheduled overtime, we will actually pay you back for the cost of a taxi, a rental car, or even mileage. If a coworker or friend comes and picks you up, we'll pay you back up to 4 times a year, up to $150 each time, to get that money back in your pocket, so you can really commute with confidence and stick with that alternative choice.
Yeah, that's a great backup plan. And we've been talking about bicycling. There is a program that Rethink is partnering with. It's called Bicycle benefits, and it encourages people to ride their bikes places, and you get some benefits. So talk about that a little bit.
With Rethink Your Commute, we're really talking to people about their options to get to work. But we realize if you're going 5-10 miles or more driving to work, it's tough to expect somebody to switch that type of commute to a bike commute. So in those baby steps of how can we invite people to look at those shorter trips that could maybe be a bike trip instead. And so in partnering with the national program Bicycle Benefits, we really just want people to bike more often to more places. And so we partnered with a number of businesses throughout Volusia County who are offering discounts to anybody who arrives by bike with a special helmet sticker, hopefully on their helmets, and then they'll be able to access the special discounts.
And so for that particular program, if you go on the Rethink website, or actually you could just probably go to FDOT or the My Challenge. I know there's multiple ways to get there because I got there, and then click on the bicycle benefits and you can put in your city, and then the various businesses will pop up that are participating in that challenge.
Kind of the easy, just search for bicycle benefits, so it comes up and you'll see all the little bike icons all throughout Volusia County.
So Steve, how important is it to get the family involved, to get the children involved at a young age, thinking about getting places other than using your car?
Pretty important. I mean, there was a study out recently that said millennials are not driving as often, or not, getting those car keys and the driver's license as soon. So, we're seeing some of that as well. But, let's use Sunrail as an example. I mean, when the parents bring their kids on the train, it's an exciting thing, and it's a great way to introduce them to mass transit. Yes, it's important to get the family involved in the biking and walking, and maybe looking at some other alternatives, other than the family car or vehicle. It's very important to set that tone.
And Courtney, with the challenge that's going on, the Mobility Week Challenge, there's lots of opportunities to involve the kids with the website because, like you mentioned, there's fun rewards and badges, and everybody can participate in that program.
Exactly. I'm really excited that the challenge actually starts on a Saturday, and Sunday, a great chance to take your kids out to see the trails in Volusia County, or to take that trip to a park and see what the sidewalks, where they connect and where you can get to. So even if it's not a work trip, what other types of trips that people are being made, you can still log those as part of the Mix It Up Challenge and get those fun badges.
All right, so tell us again how people can participate in the Mobility Week Challenge or the Mix It Up Challenge.
Well, I would encourage people to visit mobilityweekcfl.com, and on that site you will actually be able to see a whole schedule of different events happening throughout Central Florida. On the left side you'll see the link to the Mix It Up Challenge, where you can create your commuter profile and you can revisit that throughout the week to log those trips.
All right, well, Courtney Reynolds and Steve Olson, both with the Florida Department of Transportation, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for having us.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osmond, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.